Hello and welcome to Genesis, where we discuss topics and issues that impact our community. Today we have Robin Dunn with us, and we're going to be talking about a new school starting in Simi Valley, and it's called LOGOSPNEUMA.
Mm-hmm.
And so Robin is here, and Robin, first of all, I just want to say welcome.
Thank you.
And can you tell me the name of the school and what does the name mean?
Good. So LOGOSPNEUMA Institute, so it is an institute. Logos meaning word, and pneuma meaning spirit. And so really that's the focus of what this school is all about, is really the word and the spirit. We need both, you know, and I think that's something that as Christians we acknowledge and we recognize, but we must emphasize that. And so that's really what this school is dedicated to.
Okay, that's great. And can you share, I guess, what was the genesis or how did the school come about to be created, and then a little bit about the mission of the school?
Sure. So as far as how this school came to be, that was really kind of the pastor's brainchild. So both Pastor Clifton and Pastor Marcia, this was something that they've wanted to do for years.
Really?
And to get something established. Both of them are professors. I think Pastor Marcia does professoring and teaching at Vanguard, I believe, and Pastor Clifton at Pentecostal Theological Seminary. And so they both wanted to get something started here in Simi Valley that would in many ways be for kind of just the average Christian, to help equip the Christian, help equip us for ministry. I think part of the passion and part of the reason for this is just seeing how many Christians have a love for God and have, a general knowledge of the scriptures. But then when they are asked tough questions by an unbelieving world and a skeptical world and even an atheistic type of world, who are asking them difficult questions about, well, how can you rely upon the scriptures? And isn't it just a bunch of myth? And isn't it just handed down by men? A lot of Christians get tongue-tied and really have no answer for that. And I think that's part of the genesis of this, is equipping Christians to be able to have an answer for the hope that lies within them. And as well, equipping with the Spirit. So it's that two-prong approach.
I see. And I can see, yes, helping many believers who want to, this is not the right way to say it, but go to the next step, if you will, or just to be challenged to learn and to grow and to understand more of the scripture,
right,
and what God says, and there's definitely principles behind that to understand and to learn. So
right.
That's great. So, we were talking earlier about there are other schools who have institutes, and how is this one could be different from the other ones when you're looking at the actual curriculum and maybe pricing?
Good. So the curriculum, I haven't had a chance to really dive into the type of curriculum that others have. Many of them have, of course, a similar focus. So right now, just what the curriculum that we currently have is for people who want a certificate in theology and Bible. And so it really is taking a deeper dive into things like the Old Testament, the New Testament, into the Pentecostal foundation, some other different areas there. As far as the emphasis and the type of curriculum that many of these schools have, I would say that most of these schools, so I've had a chance to look at some of the curriculum certificate programs with ORU, with Pentecostal Theological Seminary, with Vanguard University, and they have obviously great curriculum. I'm not going to downplay that at all. Typically, their curriculum for a certificate is several other sessions. So we are looking at an 8-session approach, and they typically will have 12, 15 sessions that you have to attend to end up getting your certificate. So then your other part of that was the price. So that's the big, I think, wall, if you will, obstacle that is created for a lot of your general audience is if I wanted to go to one of these other larger universities and get a certificate that would be similar, let's say a certificate in theology or something like that, I'm probably going to be paying around $350 to $400 per session. So again, if there were 12 to 15 sessions, we can see how that adds up into the thousands of dollars. Again, going back to our pastors, they wanted this to be something that your average Christian, just the person that is in church who has a desire to learn more, has a desire to maybe get that certificate in theology, but doesn't have the kind of money that is required of some of these other universities, they wanted to make this affordable. So for our curriculum, again, 8 sessions, and at this time they are all in person, if somebody were to pay for the entire program, would cost them less than $800. And I think that that is, when we look at that kind of a price comparison, that makes it more feasible for your average church-going Christian who wants a higher level education.
Yes, I definitely, and we were also talking about the different types of structures of learning there. If you can share some of those, because for the working person who's maybe working, they're working 40 hours a week, hey, where can they find the time to actually come in, face to face, or if it's online?
Yeah, that's good. That's a real challenge, and that was another part that the pastors were really looking at. Do we break this up into each session being multiple sessions, or do we make this to where it's available for like a one-time thing? And that's kind of the approach. So with our current curriculum that we have in place and the scheduling that we have in place, right now for 8 sessions, they will be in person 1 day per month, starting in September. Taking off December and January, or I think just December actually, and it will be on a Saturday. So it's going to be there. We're calling it an intensive, but on a Saturday from, I think the hours, I'd have to go back and make sure with the pastors, but I think the hours are going to be something like 8:30 to 4:30 in person here at New Beginnings Church, and it's an intensive. And it's only 1 day that month. So, for example, our first class is on September 7th, that Saturday. So somebody comes in, maybe they've had to work Monday through Friday, but only coming in for that 1 day, they get that first session done. There's a little bit of homework that they need to do between the first session and the second session, but then they don't need to come back until the middle of October. That's the next class. And then this will go all the way, I think all of the classes for the whole curriculum will stretch out to May of 2025, and then there's a graduation in June of 2025.
Great. Great. Wow. That sounds great. It sounds like a lot of people could do that, if they've just got a regular Monday through Friday schedule. And it's just one class, and
Right.
excuse me, and that they can have time to do the homework. And now I don't know if I mentioned that you are the actual director of operations, so
Yes.
I just want to make sure I put that there, say that. And can you tell me just a little bit about yourself? How do you find yourself in that position at this point?
Sure. So again, this was something that the pastors had really wanted to do for several years now. And in my initial conversations with Pastor Clifton, he was saying that the challenge is we don't have anybody that can head this up. Somebody that has, I guess, the vision, but also the knowledge and how to make this go forward. And that's where I come in. So I worked for 33 years in a corporate environment in training and development. And I was, primarily I was a lead facilitator and advisor for this corporation, where we were really working with all management level individuals. My focus was more on leadership. But so we ran a whole training program that involved about 30 different classes, different courses that we developed in-house by and large, and then offered to the individuals within this company. We also had in the background the what we would call the learning management system, which housed all of the courses and was, we kept it updated. I ran that, and I also supervised the person that was the coordinator that ran that. And so as far as the background, now I don't have the university background of running all of these things, but there's a lot of similarities because a learning management system in many ways is a learning management system.
Correct.
You
Yes.
know, they don't differ all that all that much, and so there's a lot of similarities that you can run with, and that's part of my job is making sure that in the background everything is working well. So, for example, when somebody decides to, yeah, I really want to be part of this, I want to sign up. And they can go to the website, they can register, they fill out the application. That application will go into the system, but it comes to me. So there's an email address, and that application is automatically triggers an email saying, hey, an application has been submitted, please review. I go into the system, I review the application, make sure everything is in line there. And then we have the pastors will review all of the applications, and we build our participants, our student list from that. So then there is also the news updates, there are the payments, the things like that need to be taken care of. So all of these are areas that I already have experience in, being involved in the corporate world and running that kind of a system basically for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, you are the perfect fit then.
Yeah.
You know, hearing your background, I didn't realize that was your full background with that, and you bring a lot of experience and knowledge and then wisdom too. You know, being able to work out some of maybe the bugs in the initial steps and just have a smooth process.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that are a challenge to me is the marketing aspect. I'm not an online marketer. I did create the Facebook group page, and I can post things there, but that's part of the challenge is how do we get this out to more people that might be interested in this school. And so that's something that is kind of an on-the-job learning opportunity for me.
I see. And then looking a little bit toward the future with the school, where does the school where would they like to take the school to?
Yeah, good. So what we see that is in many of the different universities is obviously people still go to a campus and they'll take their in-person classes. But if a university is only focused on that, we are seeing how many universities are suffering, especially post-pandemic, suffering with just trying to get people, you know, I call it butts in a seat, trying to get the butt in the seat and having a professor in front of the class. Most universities are going into an online, more virtual type of classroom with a two-prong approach, with live online, where people attend at a particular time element and they have a professor that's right there and they're doing everything online, but especially with something that is more of what we would call a self-paced, where you have something that is already pre-recorded and a student can take this class at their leisure. There's a certain time element that they're to be, mindful of, but they can take the class at their leisure, and then they would submit their tests, their homework, whatever, and you have a professor that would be there to score that, a professor who is also involved in the chat. So if there are any questions or comments, the professor fields that, but by and large it still ends up being kind of self-paced. So going back to your question, right now we are in person. We don't have the system set up for online at this time, but that's the vision. So the vision is really that not only that we are able to reach more and more Christians and helping to equip them in this world to be living witnesses for Jesus Christ with knowledge and experience as well as empowered by the Holy Spirit. We would like to become a premier. So when people think of, I want to go and get a degree or get a certificate or something along those lines, that would be forefront in their mind is, hey, I've heard of LOGOSPNEUMA. So that's part of what we want to become. And to become that, we also have to be able to adapt and adopt what people are needing. More and more people are wanting virtual learning. And so we recognize that that's the direction we need to go. But as we said a little while ago, there are small starts. And that's what we're looking at now. Let's get the in-person, let's start building the reputation with in-person learning, and then build it up as we go forward.
I see. Wow, that's great. And can you talk a little bit about the type of instructors that you'll have teaching.
Yeah.
A little bit about their backgrounds and their degrees, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So the cool thing about this, at this particular point, with the exception of maybe one individual, all of our instructors have PhDs and are professors currently.
Right.
So we have, of course, Pastor Clifton, Pastor Marcia. Pastor Clifton is the president of LOGOSPNEUMA Institute. Pastor Marcia is the dean. They are both professors and they are both teachers in this institute. We have, at this particular point, 3 other individuals who are currently professors at other universities and have their doctorates and are teaching, will be teaching in the LOGOSPNEUMA Institute. And we have one individual here at our church, Russ Bancroft, who the man is amazing as far as a teacher and his knowledge, and he will be teaching about apologetics. And I've sat in on some of the stuff that he's taught before, and it's just mind-blowing what this man knows. I don't think he has a doctorate. He does have a master's, but is very well learned, and so he's also going to be one of our instructors here as well.
Wow, it sounds like you have a really deep roster of teachers with a lot of great experience, and that people can benefit from.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're not going somewhere where there's just, I mean, you know, having a master's is fine, having a BA is okay, but having that kind of depth of teachers with their experience, and you know, that's just priceless. You know, to have that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that was something that the pastors really wanted. They wanted a university feel, but it's also the credibility. You know, that's a big part of this too. Is these are individuals that are our instructors, our professors for the LOGOSPNEUMA Institute, who are not just, hey, I know the Bible, so let me teach something. And no, these are people that have the learning, the scholastic background, and are able to really bring people into that knowledge and into that learning environment that I think, as you just mentioned, will be very beneficial to them.
And just to kind of, in summary, just kind of wrap it up, we're getting at that point. You know, if someone was listening right now, you know, what, and if they're listening and they're very curious, and, you know, if you can make a pitch to them, like if it was just you and them at the table, what would you say to them, or just share with them?
Sure. First thing I would tell somebody is there's a lot of great information on our website, logosneuma.com. A lot of great information. It shares what the vision is of this institute, what the mission is of the institute, who are some of the instructors. We have that listed there. There's a lot of great information as far as the curriculum. So if somebody goes there, we'll show all different 8 sessions that we have there, and it will break down what these sessions are focused on. So my first recommendation is go to the website. Just park yourself in the website for a little while. Do a tour and get as much information as you can there. And then if you're needing more information, there is a way of just, matter of fact, I think it's on that first page. They can scroll down and they can fill out just this quick information request on whatever topic that they want to know more about. That sends it to our email box. I am the one that's looking at the email box. I can give them more information. As far as pricing, there are some information as far as the pricing there. We have the schedule listed on the website. So once again, that's my first recommendation, is go ahead and go to the website. And since our classes are starting on September 7th, we're looking at just over 2 months now where we're going to be starting. It is time to register. So it's a great time for people to just go ahead and register. We will take care of the payment process later once we get that fully connected and ready to go. But the best thing right now is go ahead and register. And so go to the website. If you have any more questions, send an email or fill out that form, but register at this particular point.
That's great. That's great, Robin. So if you're interested, go to the website, read the information. Of course, always pray about it, but go to the website, get the information, send in a message in that you want more information about any topic, and then sign up. You know, I
Absolutely.
think it'll be a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you, Robin, for coming and sharing the information and enlightening us, and we're looking forward to hearing more about it.
Excellent. I'm appreciative of being here, and I hope that this information was helpful to our listening audience.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right.